everyone, welcome back to Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. So are you ready to improve your English in a fun and effective way?
Absolutely. This podcast is your ticket to fluency. We believe that the best way to learn a language is through conversation.
That's right, Sophie. By listening to real conversations and practicing with us, you'll boost your vocabulary and confidence in no time.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button now.
All right, let's dive into today's topic. Today we're talking about jobs and professions. We're going to explore different careers, learn new vocabulary, and have some fun conversations.
Exactly. So let's start with some basic words related to jobs. We can say job, profession, career, occupation, and workplace.
Great. Those are some good starting points. Let's bring on our first guest, a doctor.
Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Smith. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, Dr. Smith, can you tell us a bit about your job? What does a doctor do?
Sure, I'd be happy to. As a doctor, I take care of people's health. I diagnose illnesses, prescribe medicine, and perform treatments.
That's amazing. It's a very important job.
Definitely. So, what do you like most about being a doctor?
I love helping people. It's very rewarding to see my patients get better.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, Dr. Smith.
It was great having you on the show.
I think it's fascinating to learn about different professions.
Yeah, me too. Dr. Smith was really interesting. I didn't know that being a doctor was so rewarding.
I know, right? It takes a lot of dedication and hard work.
Definitely.
All right, let's have a little chat about our families. Alan, what do your family members do for a living?
Well, my dad is a doctor. He works really long hours, but he loves helping people. My mom is a teacher. She teaches math, which is totally different from my world.
That's interesting. Doctors and teachers are both really important jobs. My dad is an engineer. He designs buildings. It's a really creative job.
Wow, that's cool. Engineers are super smart. What does your mom do?
She's a nurse. She works in a hospital. It's a demanding job, but she loves taking care of patients.
Nurses are heroes. It takes a special kind of person to do that job.
Absolutely. I really admire her for what she does.
It's fun to talk about our families. It's interesting to learn about what they do.
Yeah, it is. It makes me appreciate them even more.
Exactly. I think it's important to know what our family members do for a living.
Definitely. Okay, let's bring on our next guest.
Welcome to the podcast, Alex. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Sophie and Alan. I'm excited to be here.
So, Alex, you're an artist, right? Can you tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, I'm a painter. I create artworks using different techniques. I love experimenting with colors and textures.
That sounds fascinating. What kind of paintings do you create?
I mostly do abstract paintings. I like to let my imagination run wild. But I also do some portraits and landscapes.
That's really cool. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Everywhere. Nature, music, emotions, even everyday objects can inspire me.
That's amazing. It sounds like you have a very creative job.
Definitely. It takes a lot of talent to be an artist.
Thanks. It's definitely challenging, but it's also very rewarding.
I think it's incredible how artists can create something beautiful out of nothing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Alex is so talented.
I wish I had that kind of creativity.
Me too. But we can always appreciate art, even if we can't create it ourselves.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about different job titles. Can you think of some common job titles, Alan?
Sure. Let's see. There's doctor, teacher, nurse, engineer, and artist, which we already talked about. How about lawyer, accountant, and chef?
Great choices. We can also say waiter, salesperson, and programmer.
Yeah, those are good ones too. There are so many different jobs out there.
It's crazy to think about all the different things people do for a living.
Definitely. Let's try to use some of these job titles in a conversation.
Imagine you're looking for a job. What kind of job would you like to have?
I think I'd like to be a writer. I love to tell stories.
That's a great choice. It would be a creative job.
Yeah, but it's probably hard to find a job as a writer.
Maybe you could start by being a journalist or a blogger.
That's a good idea. Or maybe I could try to be a scriptwriter.
That sounds interesting. Good luck with your job hunt.
Thanks, you too, if you ever decide to change careers.
That was fun. I enjoyed talking about different job titles.
Me too. It made me think about what I want to do in the future.
It's important to explore different options.
Exactly. Who knows, maybe we'll end up with completely different jobs in a few years.
That would be interesting. Now, let's dive into the world of job hunting. It's a topic that affects almost everyone at some point in their lives.
Absolutely, Sophie. Finding the right job can be a real challenge. To give you a better idea of what it's like, we're going to listen to a conversation between two friends, Anna and John, who are both job hunting.
Ugh, job hunting is the worst. I've been sending out resumes for weeks and haven't even gotten a call back.
I know, right? It's so frustrating. I've been applying to everything under the sun.
Have you tried any temp agencies? Maybe you can get your foot in the door that way.
I haven't actually. That's a good idea. I'll look into it.
I think I'm going to start networking more. Maybe I can find some job openings through connections.
That's smart. Networking is really important.
Yeah, I just hope I find something soon. I'm starting to run out of money.
Me too. I'm starting to get really stressed out about it.
We'll find something, we just have to keep trying.
For sure. Maybe we can help each other out. We can review each other's resumes and cover letters.
That would be great. We can do it this weekend.
Sounds good. Let me know when you're free.
Wow, that was intense. Job hunting can be really stressful.
Absolutely, it's tough out there. But it's good to hear that Anna and John are supporting each other.
That's true. Friendship is important during challenging times. And it's also a good reminder to keep trying, even when things seem tough.
Exactly. Persistence is key when it comes to job hunting. Now, we're thrilled to have Valerie joining us. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you for having me, Sophie and Alan. I'm excited to share what I do.
To start, could you tell us a bit about your job? What exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. I'm a marine biologist specializing in coral reef conservation. My days are pretty varied, but a typical day might involve diving to collect data on coral health, analyzing samples in the lab, or collaborating with other scientists and community groups on conservation projects. It's a really exciting and rewarding field.
That sounds fascinating. Can you tell us more about your conservation projects? What kind of impact are you hoping to make?
Sure. One of our main focuses is on developing sustainable tourism practices in coastal communities. We work with local people to create eco-friendly dive and snorkel tours that help protect the reefs while providing income for the community. We also do a lot of outreach and education to raise awareness about the importance of coral reefs and inspire people to get involved in conservation.
That's incredible work. It sounds like you're making a real difference.
Definitely. So, what inspired you to become a marine biologist? Was there a particular moment or experience that sparked your interest?
Growing up near the ocean, I've always been fascinated by marine life. I remember spending countless hours exploring tide pools and watching documentaries about underwater worlds. I knew from a young age that I wanted to dedicate my life to protecting these incredible ecosystems.
That's amazing. It's clear you have a real passion for your work. So what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Without a doubt, is seeing the positive impact of our conservation efforts. Whether it's witnessing the return of a once degraded coral reef or working with local communities to build a sustainable future, it's incredibly fulfilling.
And what about the challenges? Are there any particular obstacles you face in your work?
Of course, there are challenges. Climate change is a major threat to coral reefs, and it's disheartening to see the impacts firsthand, but it also motivates us to work even harder to find solutions. There's also the issue of funding, as marine conservation can be expensive.
It sounds like you're incredibly dedicated to your work. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Valerie. It's been fascinating to learn about your career as a marine biologist.
Thank you for having me. It's been great to talk about my passion.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Fluent English with Podcast. We hope you enjoyed learning about jobs and professions. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more inspiring stories from the world of work.
Until next time, thanks for listening.